Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm an employment attorney at the Manifest Justice Law Corporation. Today, I want to talk to you all a little bit about whistleblower claims and what elements you need to prove to be able to bring a valid whistleblower claim under FEMA protections. I just have to start by acknowledging that when you are experiencing any kind of wrongdoing at work, and it's escalated to the point where it's like literally illegal conduct that you're having to face and overcome while being at work, it's horrific. It wears on every single aspect of an individual, community, and family's life. And it can feel like very quickly overwhelming. Whether you speak up or decide not to speak up, just going to work every day, knowing that that's the environment you're working in, it can be incredibly overwhelming. The good news is that the laws are still designed and do protect workers. Laws on federal level, state level, and local levels are all still designed to protect workers. Every single day, employers are having to answer to judges and other lawyers for the conduct that they allow to happen at their workplaces. If you feel or fear that you may be a whistleblower at your work, tune in because we're about to break down the steps of what you need to prove to bring a valid retaliation claim under FEMA. Okay. So there are five basic elements, that a person must prove, every single one of the five that you must prove in order to bring a valid whistleblower claim under FEMA. Bringing a valid claim doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to win or be successful when you assert your claims, but this is just the bare minimum of what you have to assert to be able to even get through the door. Okay, so there are five elements. There's reporting the conduct, a reasonable belief, causation, harm, and time. So let's go through those and unpack it step by step. First element is reporting the conduct. To satisfy this element, an employee has to either report an employer or testify against an employer or refuse to engage in illegal conduct that the employer is pushing for the employee to engage in. And the employer must be in violation of either a federal, a state, or a local law. To reiterate and just say it in another way, in order to be protected under whistleblower laws, you've got to be a worker, either an employee or a contractor, or an applicant who either reports or testifies against or refuses to engage in illegal conduct that the employer is encouraging. And that illegal conduct can be a violation of federal law, state law, or local laws. The second element that a person needs to prove in order to bring a valid whistleblower claim under FEMA is a reasonable belief. The person who's reporting the conduct has to have had a reasonable belief, although it can be a mistaken belief. They just have to have a reasonable belief that the employer's conduct was in violation of a law. So whether that illegal conduct was fraud or some type of mismanagement, maybe it was an abuse of authority, or maybe they put someone in danger and there were some unsafe working conditions. There's a lot of different types of illegal conduct that could be reported. The key part here is that it has to be illegal. It must be a reasonable belief and it must be asserted in good faith, which means that that you're not lying and that you don't have alternative ulterior motives for asserting these claims. They're real, valid, even if mistaken. At the time you made them, they were valid. The third element a person must prove in order to assert a valid whistleblowing claim under FEMA is causation. So you must be able to prove that you, the employee who spoke out with your reasonable belief that there was wrongdoing, you must be able to prove that then you were discharged or fired or demoted, or that you face constructively terminated, even just that you've received some type of adverse work action as a result of you reporting. So there's got to be that causal link that the reporting and the bad action are connected. The fourth element that you have to prove for a whistleblower claim is harm. You've got to be able to prove that the adverse employment action was a substantial factor in the harm that the employee experienced. So because you were fired, you then had a mental breakdown, or because the conditions were not fixed and you were forced to keep working on that project, you experienced a broken limb, like an ankle or something, but some kind of harm that's connected to the adverse employment activity. The fifth and final element of a whistleblower claim is time. Just like in most of our other claims, the time in which you file the complaint is incredibly important. If you don't bring it within the certain amount of time that's required under statute, then you may be barred and excluded, prohibited from even being able to argue your case at all. You have to bring forward your grievances within 3 years of the retaliatory action or adverse action that was taken against you. So it's not 3 years from the reporting date, it's 3 years from when you reported the incident or the illegal conduct. It's 3 years from when you received adverse action, adverse employment action, as a result of you reporting the illegal conduct. So 3 years, we've got 3 year limit. I hope that makes sense. Those were all of the elements. Just I'm going to run through them really quick. The elements, the 5 elements for a workplace whistleblower claim under FEMA. There's a person who reports the conduct, whether that's to police, local authorities, press, social media, an op-ed, some kind of reporting. It could even be just reporting within your workplace. The second element is you have to have a reasonable belief that what you are asserting actually happened, a reasonable belief that some kind of law was violated by your employer. 3, you've got to be able to prove causation, that you experienced adverse employment action as a result of you reporting a reasonable belief of illegal conduct. The fourth element is that you have to be able to prove that you've experienced some kind of harm related to the adverse action that was taken against you. The fifth element is that you have to file within 3 years of when the retaliation actually occurred. So those are the fundamental elements for a strong whistleblower claim under California FEMA regulations. And hopefully, now that you understand these basic elements, you feel better equipped to make a difference in your workspace. If you work or live in California and you feel like you may have a whistleblower claim or you have questions about a situation at your workplace, please feel free to reach out to the Manifest Justice Law Corporation. We will provide a free, completely complimentary consultation. It will be trauma informed, culturally competent, and client centered. If you live or work outside of California and you have questions or need help about a potential whistleblower situation at your workplace, then I urge you to reach out to your local bar association. Most local bar associations offer free legal referral services. And if your local bar association does not offer free legal referral services, you can still reach out, tell them what's going on, and they'll usually be able to help point you in the right direction to get you started and find the counsel that you need. Everyone works, but not everyone is safe at work. Go ahead and follow along the Manifest Justice page so you can learn more about your workplace rights and better protect yourself. See you next time. Bye.